Thank you so much for your time on the show today. Let me just run through some of the top gainers we're seeing from the stock exchange today. Seplat coming in with a 49 naira gain today. Japan Gold, Mutual Benefit, ICO Insurance, and Multiverse also posting gains today. I'd like to get your take on the performance we're seeing in the market today.
Thank you very much for having me, Kenneth. The performance today is, we're basically seeing some bargain hunting in the market today. Throughout last week, barring one session, we saw the market, we saw significant profit-taking activity across the NSE, last week, and we saw the market drop by around 3%, with market attrition across, all the key sectors. And this week, I believe that we're starting to see some bargain hunting, even as investors are still a little wary of, the rising yields in the fixed income market. Basically, I think that if when we look at the stocks that have gained a lot today, we can there's a direct correlation to the stocks that lost significantly last week.
All right, now let's look at Seplat being on the top of that gainers list, and let's look at some of the fundamentals of this company and how you think investors should be looking at this company going forward.
Well, when it comes to Seplat, it's very interesting because for Seplat, they are directly involved in exploration and production, which is, and they're the only company on the exchange, the only oil and gas company on the exchange that is directly involved in doing that. And so the crude prices will play a significant role in the future of Seplat in 2021 performance. And the base expectation for oil prices is that we are expecting significant accretion in oil prices in 2021. Oil prices are currently trading even higher than most analysts had expected, and I expect that we'll start to see some revision of estimates in the coming months. Given that we expect it to sort of stabilize somewhere around this range. Now, the key question for the performance for Seplat and for most of the major E&P companies globally would be the steps that OPEC and its allies will be taking in the near future. At the last meeting, they voted to maintain the production quotas and the most recent agreement, but there was a lot of pressure from some members and some allies to pull back on some of the cuts. And if we do see that, we might see a drop in oil prices, which would obviously be negative for Seplat. So the key thing to watch out for Seplat will just be, the actions of OPEC and its allies, going forward in 2021.
All right, now let's get into the banking sector. Yes, we're not ending season, but some of the big names we're still waiting for the result of some of the big names there. But in related activity we're seeing from the sector, we're seeing, players tap into the capital markets for with EcoBank, EcoBank Eurobond we saw recently, and more recently what we're seeing from Fidelity Bank with the bond issuance. I'd like you to speak to what we're seeing in the banking space and what's your assessment on what to expect.
I think the expectations for performance in the banking space is going to be largely mixed. On one hand, we're going to be seeing weak interest income sustained from 2020, given the reduction in in interest rates in the fixed income space that we've seen in over the past 1 year. However, at the same time, we've seen an explosion of activity in terms of digital technology, in terms of the usage of digital technology in the banking space, which has driven up non-interest income in the banking space going forward, and in the past 1 year at the same time. And so we are basically seeing the struggle between a reduction in interest income and an accretion in non-interest income, which is going to sort of determine the future of banking or the performance of the banking stocks in 2021. And then speaking on this fidelity issue, it's the issue was a 10-year junior unsecured subordinated bond, which was raised at a coupon rate of about 8.5%, which is very incredible and shows considerable interest in the fixed income market and corporate issuances in Nigeria, especially given the terms of the issue, and seeing how low the interest rates currently is. It's something that we saw a lot of in 2020, and we expected to continue to see in 2021, and we expect that a lot of corporates will continue to look to funding their working capital shortfalls and also their projects and also upcoming projects in the debt capital market, given that the interest rates are still low, even though we are currently seeing them climb up. And on the more positive side, we are seeing that
definitely quite a lot to look forward to, Onyeka. Definitely there. Thank you so much.